Hello friends, Intuitive Rene here, bringing you your weekly insight reading. So we're looking at the week of the 8th to the 12th of March 2021, and we've got an interesting spread, an interesting layout here for you this week. And this week there is an option of the extended reading for those of you who are on my YouTube channel membership. If you have joined, there will be an extended reading for you. And these are all the cards that we're going to be working with. So just to explain to you what we have, I need to talk about this card over here first. This is the question we're asking this week. This is our focus. So this is a questions deck, and it is just a deck full of questions, and I drew randomly. And I think this is such a brilliant idea for us to work through over the next couple of weeks. So we'll see how it goes. But the question for this week is, what do I or you or we need to heal in order to move forward? So, life is, we need to be constantly working on ourselves. We need to be constantly trying to improve our circumstances, our situations, and who and what we are. So what do we need to heal in order to allow us to move forward? That is the question we're asking this week. And to get the answers, I am working with the Spirit Within Tarot. So those are the 6 cards I've laid out here. We're going to do the first 3, the top row for the public viewing, and the bottom row will be for the extended viewing. So it'll give us additional information. So whatever that card is, this will give additional information on that card, and so on and so on. And then over here we have Divine Directions card, and we also have my absolute favorite Sacred Destiny Oracle card as well. So those are the cards that we're going to be working with today. So as I said, this is for the collective, this is for everybody. This is for the week of the 8th to the 12th of March 2021. And it's to answer this question: what do you need to heal in order to move forward? All right. And I have I have my moon gazer. I have my 2 favorite pieces of labradorite. I have my blue and I have my purple, and I've got some moonstone. I've got my Palo Santo in the background. So just got some nice crystals to bring positive energy, to illuminate with all the moon energy going on there, just to illuminate what's happening here. All right, so the question: what do we need to heal in order to move forward? And as I mentioned earlier, life is we should never plateau in life. We should constantly be trying to improve ourselves. We should be constantly trying to make ourselves better, our circumstances better, our understandings better, and all of that. And yes, life is hard, and often we have situations that hurt and that cause pain and cause disruption and all of these kind of things to our lives. But we need to heal that so that we can move forward. So what is holding us back? What is holding you back from living your best life? The first thing I want to do before we actually start on the tarot is I want to turn over the Divine Directions card, because they often give really awesome messages, and of course this one doesn't let us down. The message is strength, and it says you have an enormous amount of strength and courage. Remain focused, stand tall and shine. So immediately when we talk about, oh, the glare, hold on, sorry, the glare is quite bad, so let's see if I can do that. No, the glare is terrible. Okay, I don't want to move things around too much. Let's do it like that. We can still see both of them, but the glare over there is terrible. So the strength card is basically, what do you need to heal in order to move forward? Strength. You have an enormous amount of strength and courage. Remain focused, stand tall and shine. So instead of just focusing on the negative, instead of just focusing on all the things that have gone wrong, or all the problems that we have in life, the strength card is reminding you that it doesn't matter how bad it is. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what you've faced or what you're facing or what's happened in the past. You're stronger than you realize. Okay, you are absolutely stronger than you realize, stronger than you give yourself credit for. So let's have a look and see what the tarot has to say. So we're going to turn our first tarot over. Okay, so immediately I love how the story sort of unfolds and how everything starts taking on, it gets interesting, because here we have the Hanged Man, and there you can see him hanging from a tree. So under ordinary circumstances, if we had to see a man hanging from a tree, we would think, oh my gosh, panic, panic, panic. But in this particular instance, there's a couple of things that stand out. First of all, he is not struggling. The fact that he's got his hands behind his back and they're not hanging, pointing down as well, shows you that he's very much in control. Okay, he really is. He's very much in control. What he's doing by hanging upside down is he's just sort of, looking at things in a different way. He's sort of just saying, Well, hold a second. If we're doing it, if we're looking at the world from this side, if we're looking at life from this angle, if we're looking at things from a different perspective, what can I see that I wouldn't ordinarily see if I was walking on the ground? Okay, so he's just getting a different perspective on things, but he's also sacrificing himself a little bit, isn't he? Because he's quite vulnerable in hanging upside down like that. He's actually quite vulnerable. He's actually exposed to the elements, and he's quite vulnerable. So it's almost like he's prepared to sacrifice something if he needs to, just to start getting a different perspective on life, on his situation, on his circumstance, etc. So this is what you need to do. Whatever it is that has happened in the past, whatever it is that you need to heal in order to move forward, whatever it is that's come through for you there, just know that sometimes we have to look at it slightly differently. Sometimes if we just have a different angle at it, we look at it from a different perspective, you'll be amazed at what you can see. And suddenly that's quite freeing in itself, because when you look at things differently, from a different perspective or a different angle, the hurt seems to shift. The hurt and the pain, the anger, the frustration, whatever the emotion is, it seems to shift completely differently, which is sometimes exactly what we need. Let's have a look here. Okay, so then we get the amazing Hierophant card. So the Hierophant is always a very interesting card because it's a card of teaching. It's also the card of learning. It's the card of almost, I want to say, going back to basics, keeping things simple, not overcomplicating life. It's also the card of recognizing your leadership skills and abilities. So here we have one person who stands there imparting knowledge, telling stories, sharing knowledge to other people, and there may be many more that we can't see, who are truly, immersed in whatever's being said. This light that's emanating from the back, so obviously it's the sunrise or sunset, but just those rays, it's like the rays of hope, and it's saying to you everything's going to be okay. But the Hierophant is also the card that says let's not overcomplicate things. Simple is often better, okay? And the Hierophant tells us let's keep it simple. So we need to get a fresh perspective. We need to keep things simple. And by doing that, we will find the strength, the courage that we need in order to heal the energies, the emotions, the situations, etc., that's going on around us. And then finally, with this tarot deck, okay. So one of the things that really, as I turned that card over, that really jumped out at me is how we had this full moon, which became a sun with lots of rays of light, and now it almost like those two have merged. That's the first thing that really sort of jumped out at me. The Knight of Wands, let's talk about the Knight of Wands. First of all, you can see there's action here. You can see that there is forward movement, there is momentum, he is progressing, okay? And also, to me, his stance, the picture there, it looks like he's running. And if he isn't, he's about to. He's starting to pick up pace and he's starting to run. He is carrying his wand or his baton, and that he can use to either defend himself or to give him courage, give him strength, to elevate him. He can use it in many, many, many different ways. But that card, the Knight of Wands, is about jumping into action, jumping forward, getting busy, getting creative, getting going with whatever it is that you need to get going with. So, friends, let's look at this, okay? What do you need to heal in order to move forward in your life? We have the Strength card that says you have an enormous amount of strength and courage. You just need to remain focused, stand tall, and shine. Look at your situation from a slightly different perspective. Look to see, don't look at it from the place of hurt, from the place of anger, from the place of pain and frustration and sadness and disappointment and all of that. Don't look at it from that perspective. Actually look at it from a different angle and see what lessons there are to be learned. Okay, see what lessons you need to learn from the situation, because as soon as you do, you'll be able to move forward. As soon as you learn the lessons that this situation is teaching you, as soon as you see it, you learn it, there will be progress, there will be forward movement, and actually it'll happen incredibly, incredibly quickly. So this is the focus for this week, for the week of the 8th to the 12th of March. Now let's just have a look and see what Sacred Destiny Oracle wants to add to the situation. Here's a little mark on the card. Right, it is the card of openness, and we have this moon. I know it's probably not very clear. Let me actually see if I can bring it a bit closer. We have the planets and the cosmos lined here. We have got beautiful clouds It is the card of openness, that is its message. So it's telling you to be open. It's telling you to be open to possibilities. Be open to this message, all right? Be open to this message and just try and be, it's almost like free your mind and free your heart to learn the lessons, to make the changes, to see things differently so that you can move forward. You need to be open to that because, again, when we feel pain so raw, when we feel pain so hard, when we feel pain so severely, it's very difficult to see beyond that. But when you stop and you just take a moment, take a breath, and just breathe it out and just almost distract yourself, if I can use that phrasing. And I think that's what this Hanged Man card is. Again, it's all about. It's basically saying, we need to do something different. We need to do something completely out of the norm, completely out of the ordinary, so that we can shift the energy and see what's going on. But let's be open to that. Let's not be closed-minded. So for this week ahead, for the week again of the 8th to the 12th of March, let's focus on this as much as you can. Take this question. Okay, take this question and write it in your diary. Put it on your fridge, stick it on your mirror in your bathroom, wherever you need to, stick it there so that you can just remind yourself, what do I need to heal in order to move forward? And whatever it is, know that you are strong enough, know that you have the courage, the strength, the conviction, and everything that you need. But we just need to shift the energy. And if we can do that this week, if we can shift the energy and be open to possibilities, be open to hope. And it's very interesting what I picked up about these moons and the suns here, and how it's come through. And suddenly I noticed that the back of the cards are also round like that. Sorry, I see we're out of focus. Let me just bring it back into focus. Let the camera focus there, and then it'll focus back. There we go. All right, so looking at the back of these cards, we have the same round shape, the round shape of openness, the round shape of possibility, the round shape of our beautiful moon, and the moon that wants us to focus on possibilities, to focus on everything. The moon also wants us to face our fears. It wants us to face our shadows. The moon wants us to be very much aware of everything that's going on in our lives. Right, so very interesting how we've got all these moon energies, sun energies that are sort of reflected here. And the sun and the moon are about clarity, they're about understanding, they're about illumination, especially the moon, about illuminating the truth, illuminating the fears that we have hiding in our shadows. If you remember when you were a child and you were afraid of there being a monster under the bed, as soon as we shine light under the bed, we immediately can see that there are no monsters. We can immediately see that everything is okay. So looking at all these moon sun energies that we've got all around us, and the fact that I chose all my moon my moon gazer and the moon stone and the two labradorites, which are all about illumination. Wow. Clearly there is no such thing as coincidence. And this week, what do you need to heal in order to move forward? And that is the most important thing to focus on. So friends, I do hope that you have a phenomenal week. I do hope that this just let it plant a seed in your mind that you think about throughout the week. Every time you face something difficult, every time there's a challenge, every time there's an obstacle, anytime you're feeling like a little bit out of sorts, just come back to this. Just come back to this and ask yourself, right, what is it that I'm needing to work through? What is it that I'm needing to be mindful of? And I think let that be the focus card for you this week, okay? Let the Hanged Man be your guide. And the Hierophant, of course, because the Hierophant is all about the lessons and the learning, about the teaching. But the Hierophant's message is also keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things, all right? He's possibly overcomplicating it a little bit there because all he needs to do is to get a different perspective. And when we do that, things are going to shift in an incredibly, incredibly fast way. So sending love and blessings to you all. I'm looking forward to being online Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. South African time, to do some live readings. That is every Wednesday, 7 p.m. for everybody who is on my YouTube channel. So do consider joining the channel today and getting access to the extended portion of this particular reading and so much other content. But friends, have a phenomenal week ahead with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Take care.